Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a video that I have been inundated with requests to do, and it's how to reduce bloating or how to get a flatter stomach. So because I'm a nutritionist, people think, she can cure me of everything. Even though I am recommending some of these steps for you to take, it doesn't necessarily mean they are going to work for you. I hope they will work for you, but genetics plays an awful amount in, having a flat stomach, and also it's got to do with, your body shape and stuff like that. Some of the steps that I'm going to mention may do absolutely nothing for you, but it is important, I suppose, to follow the steps that I recommend, because there's nothing worse than the uncomfortable feeling of being bloated. Now, some of these steps are going to help reduce bloating, but they may not necessarily give you a flat stomach, so just a word of warning. So the first thing I'm going to recommend to all you guys right now, today, this second, is to increase your fluid intake. It is so important to get loads and loads and loads of water into you. You may think, oh, I'm a bit bloated, I'm carrying water, or I have water retention. You may think, oh, well then I'm not going to drink anymore. I don't want to add to the problem. But the reason why you are bloating is because you haven't got enough water in your body, basically. That's as simple as it is. So you need to replenish it. Your body holds on to water in times of need, and so you don't become dehydrated. So it's really, really important to make sure that you up your intake of water. So the more water you drink, the less likely you are to become dehydrated. So the less your body is going to hold on to excess fluid, and it flushes it all out. I do recommend having lemon in water, or maybe once a day, because lemon is a natural diuretic, which means it gets rid of any excess fluid in the body, and also reduces the amount of salt that's in your body. Too much salt in your body means you're going to bloat even more, because obviously we know if there's too much salt, that means there's not enough water, which means it's going to hold on to any bits of fluid that it can, which means you're going to bloat. So getting rid of the salt is really, really important too, and it's also important in your diet as well, not to add too much salt to food. So another way to decrease bloating is to increase your fibre intake. Anyone over the age of 16 should be getting about 25 grams of fibre into their diet every day. Fibre is excellent in your diet for so many reasons. It absorbs extra cholesterol and fat, but number one, it also helps to stimulate the wave-like movements of your digestive system, which means it will remove waste, stopping you from getting bloated. You can get fibre in so many things: vegetables, fruit, legumes. You can get it in whole grains, in nuts and seeds, and in conjunction with the fluid that you're going to be intaking, it's going to reduce bloating. If you have a diet really low in fibre, I recommend gradually increasing it. Don't all of a sudden start introducing loads of fibre into your diet, because it'll just be too much on your system. So gradually introduce it, every day have an extra bit of nuts or seeds or whatever it may be, or increase your vegetable intake. Do it step by step so your body doesn't get overwhelmed. The next thing you can do to aid digestion or to reduce bloating is to increase the natural bacteria in your digestive tract, so that it's digesting more, it's removing any extra waste. So you can do that by taking a probiotic or by eating natural yogurt. If you're lactose intolerant, I recommend taking a supplement, but if you can get it in natural sources, try and increase the yogurt intake or natural yogurts that you have. There's absolutely no problem with taking probiotics. They are so beneficial for you, and like I said, they aid digestion and they increase the natural flora of your digestive tract, so they're really important to include in your diet. If you are getting continuously bloated, even if you follow all the steps that I mentioned today, do maybe see somebody about an intolerance test. You may have lactose or wheat or some sort of intolerance that is causing the bloating. If you have an intolerance, you really need to rule that out first before you do anything else. One thing that people actually don't realize is that when you eat too fast, it can also cause you to bloat up. By eating and drinking too quickly, you can actually take in extra gulps of air that can cause you to bloat, so slow down, guys. And also, when you eat slower, you tend to eat less. The reason why is because it takes your body 20 minutes to realize that it's full. So if you're eating too quickly, by and large, you probably finish your meal maybe in 10-15 minutes. You still think you're hungry, you go back for seconds, and then maybe 5 minutes later you're like, oh, I'm so full. Whereas if you just ate a little bit slower, you would have been full and satisfied from the meal you had already prepared, and you won't need to go back for seconds. Okay, I really recommend you guys to decrease carbonated drinks or colas or fizzy drinks or anything like that, because the gases inside them can cause you to bloat as well. So if you are a fizzy drink lover, I recommend going with the water and lemon, like I already explained before. Another thing that can cause you to bloat, and if you do a lot of it, is chewing gum. Obviously, when you chew gum, you're not taking in any food, but your body is getting ready for food, if that makes sense. Because the chewing of your mouth is starting to salivate, therefore your digestive juices are starting to go. It can actually cause ulcers as well, chewing an awful lot of gum, but it can get your stomach ready for food, and you take in lots of gulps of air, it can just cause you to bloat. Okay, this is probably a really obvious one for a lot of you guys, but there are certain foods that can cause you to become let's say, more gassy than other ones. Beans being one of them. Onions are another. Broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower. They're all types of foods that can actually cause you to become quite gassy and can actually cause your stomach to swell up or become bloated. So just to be careful with overconsumption of those foods. They are so beneficial and so amazing for you, but just if you do suffer from bloating, that could be just a reason why. Something I've talked about tons of times before is the eating little and often regime. I've talked to you before about how you should have 5 to 6 small meals every day and you should be eating them in between every 2 to 3 hours. So it actually can decrease bloating because you're not taking in huge quantities of food which your body is just totally overwhelmed with and ends up bloating out. You're taking in smaller quantities of food. It controls your hunger as well and stabilizes your blood sugar, so it's so beneficial. So the last thing I recommend for food, guys, is to watch your salt intake, and I already talked about this briefly, but just to be so careful of the amount of salt and sodium that you're intaking into your diet. If you read the food labels of all of your foods, you'll familiarize yourself with which foods are kind of high in salt and to limit, and which ones are lower in salt and to include more of. For adults, we shouldn't be eating any more than 6 grams of salt a day. Even 5 I would recommend to most of my clients. If you are trying to restrict salt in your diet, anything over 1.5 grams per 100 grams is too much. That doesn't mean it needs to be avoided every single time, but it just means that it needs to be limited in your diet. When studying in college, I was always told to recommend my clients to look at the per 100 grams, and that's what you do so that you can compare it. So the final thing I'm going to talk to you about is exercises. So you're not going to get a flat 6-pack abs by sitting on your ass. You gotta get out there and you gotta get moving. Not a big like, ooh, exercise junkie, you know what I'm like. But I do walk an awful lot. I walk tons. I will walk anywhere I need to go. I will park further away than I need to walk, if that makes any sense. So if I'm going shopping or something, I will park my car miles away and walk the whole way up to the supermarket. I will always take the stairs over the lift, things like that. So little things in your life can help. You're not going to start doing ab workouts and all of a sudden, whoa, I have a 6-pack, I have a flat stomach. It's always 80-20. 80% of your diet, 20% of what physical activity you actually do. So I do recommend, you know, something like Pilates, even like the sit-ups at home or crunches, stuff like that. Try and do a little bit more exercises. I will link down below exercises that you can do for ab workouts and things like that, because I wouldn't be the best at them. I'll definitely find an article on them. So guys, like I said, it's mostly got to do with your diet. So limit the salt in your diet, watch out for the gassy foods, increase your water, maybe get a probiotic, watch out for chewing gum, and slow down at meal times. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you have any more requests for nutrition videos, I would love to hear them because I love filming nutrition videos for you guys. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye.